Welcome to this series of my life in a toxic marriage and learn from it. I was in a toxic marriage, a very, very toxic marriage that almost made me take away my life. I remember I attempted suicide and God gave me a second chance to life. So I was once married and I thank God that that marriage ended. I'm now happier, although a single mother, and this is my journey of how I was once married and now single and more happier. Yeah, this is my story. Take note of the red flags. Hi everybody. How is everyone? How are you doing? Welcome and welcome back to our big family, to the big family of touching lives through love. To the new subscribers, to the new people in our family, we love you. It's all about love here. This is where we touch lives through love, and we touch lives in different ways. And I'm happy because of all that are in our big family. And today I'm not talking about Gladys, the foster mom. Most of you know me as the foster mother because of the 3 girls that I foster, that I rescued from the slum, and they live with me since the year 2020. Today I want to talk about Gladys that was once married, that got divorced, and Gladys, the single mom. And then now all of you know Gladys, the foster mother. So it's a whole cocktail. It's a whole cocktail of who Gladys is. I never shy from sharing my life. I never shy from talking about things that has happened in my life, because in sharing about my life, I've seen other people get hope. I have seen people revived. I've seen people getting inspired, getting challenged to do something. Every time I talk about my life, I get phone calls, and the more reason why I keep giving our number that you can reach us. Even right now, it's there here on the screen, because people reach out and they say, because of you, I'm able now to get out of the house and do this and this. Because of listening to you, I'm now able to enroll to this course. Because of you, I did this. Because of your talk I listened to you, and I'm now able to do 1, 2, 3. Those are the things that keep encouraging me to be open, to be very open, and to be very candid about my own personal life. Because from my own personal life, there are mistakes that I made that I would be happy if you would learn from me and avoid them. I would really be so happy. Like today, I'm going to talk about how my marriage life almost saw me dead. You know, how my marriage made me attempt suicide. You know, how toxic it was, how the red flags that I avoided. Because when you are so much in love, there are those red flags that you are so blind to see them. You see, people say love is blind. I think to some extent that saying is true, because when you're too much in love with this person, those red flags will keep flying up, but you don't see them. And other people see, maybe they even let you know, but you just brush it off or something like that. So if I share about the red flags that I avoided, and it helps a young lady there or a young man there, I get happy and I get inspired. So my life is basically an open book. Those who have followed me for so long know that you can't Google the name Gladys. You know, when you just Google the name Gladys on YouTube, you'll get so many interviews that I have been to. I have attended so many interviews to a point of people asking me, are you paid for doing these interviews? And the answer is no, I'm not paid for doing those interviews. But I always feel a fulfillment that I can't explain by words. Anytime I go and do an interview and I'm followed by a phone call, I'm followed by a text, I'm followed by a WhatsApp message of how somebody got helped, you know, that is like my payment, and that is my satisfaction, and I feel so happy about that. Of course, being too open with my life has costed me. It's a journey. It's a journey that many people cannot journey with you, because when you decide that you want to let your life, your real life experiences be an open book out there, people react differently to that. There are those people who will feel like you're exposing too much to the public, you're letting the public know too much about you. And I always tell people, you might think like I am letting the public know too much about me, but once now you become my close friend and you are in my inner circle, you start knowing things you did not know about me. So I always say I know what I want the public to know, and I know what I want to keep to myself. So what I feel will go out there and help somebody, I let it go, and it has costed me big time. Can I tell you a story? One time, there's this guy who hitted on me, and he was really interested in dating me and, things like that. But this guy, I think over time, he got to know that I am this public person. My life is out there, and he was not comfortable with that. And he was very open about it, and he said, I'm not comfortable with the way you are all out there, the way you are all public there, the way you're always called for interviews, the way you always speak about your life. I speak about my life like it's nothing. I speak about how I dropped out of school for 7 years like it's nothing. I speak about how I went back to high school at 26 years. I speak about that time I went back to high school at 26 years. I was a mother of one. I was married in a toxic marriage. I was age mate with my teachers. I talk about it because I'm intentional about inspiring somebody, about encouraging somebody, about walking a journey with somebody. And so, funny enough, that guy couldn't cope with that. And we had to break up. And we had to end it at that stage because I had respected the fact that, there are those people who just don't want to go into public. There are those people, even if they have the social media accounts, they don't post much. Their social media accounts are just for perusing, seeing what people are posting, reading other people's posts. But for them, they don't like posting a lot. They don't like even posting their pictures. Even when you go maybe on their profiles, they don't put a picture of themselves. Maybe they put a picture of a flower, a picture of a car, a picture of a house. And we respect those kind of people because we cannot all be the same. So I respected his view and his perspective, and I actually respected where he's coming from. And I told him it's okay. If you're uncomfortable with that, let it be. And also on my side, I felt he needed to understand where I'm coming from. Number one, me, I'm a public speaker, I'm a motivational speaker, I'm a corporate trainer, so I mingle too much in with the public. So I also thought if the person who loves me comes on board, they will be comfortable with what I do, because I'm not just doing it for showbiz. I'm not just doing it to pass time. I'm not just doing it because I don't have something else to do. Like right now, I'm not just doing this video. I'm very intentional about doing this video because I'm targeting somebody who will get so inspired out of this video. So if somebody comes on board and loves me so much, they will be in a position to support what I do, support my passion, encourage me, even if they're not, they're in front of the camera like I am. They are able to support even from the back, and, just be there for what I love doing, because that's what I love doing. And so we respected each other in that manner. I respected that he's more private, and he also understood that I cannot fake. I cannot fake to please him. I cannot fake that now I love you, and from now henceforth, because you're not comfortable with me going for the media interviews or going out there in public, I will stop it. I will stop being public. I'll stop posting things. I will just be what you want me to do. I'll be very private to make you happy. I couldn't give him that misconception about me, because I know that's not me, and I know I can't manage that kind of a lifestyle. And so we just agreed it's not working. We are good friends, and That's it. So going public and coming to you people has costed me. I have a cost that I have paid, and I don't care about it, because as much as I am reaching you and encouraging you and lifting you from a certain level to a higher level, that to me is more fulfilling and is more encouraging. So yeah, today most people know me as the foster mother. Like I said as we were starting the video, you know me as the foster mother of these 3 beautiful girls that I rescued from the slum in the year 2020, after realizing that they were living with their father who was molesting them sexually, and now they have a safe place in my home. And as you scroll through our videos, you'll just see a lot of videos that I do with our girls, because I couldn't meet the demand of updating everybody individually on how the girls are doing. And actually that's how we came up with this YouTube channel, so that everybody can follow the progress of the girls, because the story of these girls is out there in public domain. And that's how we have ended up being one big family, and I love you all. And so straight to the video. Today's video, it's gonna be a long video that I will do in bits of series, because it's a long story of the red flags that I ignored before I got married. You know, when I was dating, what were these red flags that I saw but I ignored? After I got married, how was the experience? What was that was making me attempt suicide? How did the suicide go? How did God save my life and give me a second chance? How did I get to a point of saying enough is enough in that marriage? I can't take it anymore. You know, I was a church girl even at that time. And you know, when you are a church girl, you know, the Bible says that God hates divorce. So at what point will I get and feel, even if God hates divorce, I'm not going to die in this marriage? How will I exit that marriage? How has my life been after divorcing? Now being a single mother, it's a whole different world. Ooh. You wait for that part of being a single mother. My experience as a single mother, you will love it, you will laugh, and you will learn a lot from it. So it's gonna be a whole wholesome video, but today I'm only going to make it very brief, and we are going to learn about the red flags that I personally feel that I were very conspicuous, but I don't know whether I brushed them off, I ignored them, or I was too blind to see them. Any of the above could be the reality. And yes, when I met this guy, I was actually young. I was 21. When I met him, I was 21. He was my first boyfriend. My first boyfriend. So there's something with the first boyfriend, and I know people watching this will attest to this. You know, that very first man that you loved, there is always something about him. So this guy, when we met, he was my very first boyfriend. I had not dated before. I didn't have an experience of dating before. And I met him that time when I gave my story, and I say, when I dropped out of school for 7 years, 2 of those years I worked as a house girl. So when I worked as a house girl, life pushed me so much to desperation, to a point I felt like I will never ever go back to school. Things are not working and all that. And there was this big vacuum in me that I felt that needed to be filled. And I thought in my mind, maybe I need to fill this vacuum with marriage. So I met this guy in the same estate where I was working as a house girl. The house that I was working as a house girl, he was working as a house boy. One house in between us. So we were real close neighbors, and we could see each other like every day. We are in the same profession. I am a house girl and he is a house boy. And you know, that was it. And we started by building the friendship. Of course, the lady that I was working for is the one who introduced me to this young man. And the reason she introduced me to him is because she also knew this man as a church person, very devoted to God, very committed to God, always going for Bible studies, or always going to church. And so this lady that I was working for felt that this young man would be a perfect interaction for me, you know, a perfect friend for me, because during the day I'm just all idle. I don't have friends, I don't have people to talk to. And so this lady introduced me to him and him to me, and set us free, and said, you people, you feel free, you can interact, you can talk, you can be friends. You know, I know you, Gladys, I know you, the guy, so you can interact and read the word of God together, read the Bible together. Of course, this guy, and I love giving credit where credit is due, this guy was a very good Bible teacher. You know, like, we would sit down, just the two of us, and the way he would teach me verse after verse, word after verse, explain concept after concept about what verse that Bible verse is saying, it was amazing, amazing, amazing. And so I would enjoy sitting with him, because discussing the Bible with him would make me feel more encouraged. You know, I would feel more closer to God, you know. And at that time, he really played a big part of bringing me closer to God, because I remember he is even the person who encouraged me into the lifestyle of prayer and fasting. You know, he would like set days and tell me, these days we are praying and fasting about an issue, we are praying about our nation, we are praying about this and that. And so I had not really gotten into that thing of prayer and fasting, but he introduced me into it, and I grew into it. Also, I was not speaking in tongues. I couldn't pray in tongues. He's the person who told me we have to pray, to fast and pray for God to fill me with the Spirit of God to be able to pray in tongues. And I give credit to him, and I said thank you to him, because that's some of the positive things that he did. As much as we divorced, he still had good things he did in my life, and bad things that happened that led to our divorce. So always it's good to give credit where it is due. And so I got to meet this guy, and we started dating. And our kind of dating was just so church-based, you know, so church-based. So would the time that we are free and we want to go out, would spend it. Maybe he would request me not to go to my church. We go to his church together, so that we can spend time together. When service is over, Sundays used to be our off days. When service is over, would come from church, and instead of coming straight home, because it's our day off, we would go to a garden, a very famous garden here in my country. It's called Uhuru Gardens. Uhuru Park Gardens. So we would go there, lie on the grass the whole day, make stories, you know, talk and all that, and spend time together. It is just an open park, a very beautiful park where people can go and just have time, sweet time there. And then in the evening, now we could come. But then now, when now we got serious, we are dating, today is when I feel these red flags were there, and they were conspicuous, but either I ignored them, or I did not see them, or I was too blind, or so much in love. And because I don't want to keep this video very long, I'll jump into these red flags. There are many, but I want to focus on only 5, the major ones. The rest, maybe I'll be touching them as the story continues in other series. And the red flag number 1 was I dated a man without, you know, no concrete plan of where he's heading. You know, we were in the same profession, and the more time we would spend together, I would keep telling him, My plans is to go back to school. I'm looking for scholarship. Actually, let us delay getting married because I want to first of all go finish my high school. Then after my high school, now I can come and get married to you. So as much as I was working as a house girl, I had future plans. I want to go back to school. I want to make my life better through education, which I did. And up to today, I graduated from the University of Nairobi, and I thank God for the breakthrough. It's a whole story. I'll give you one of these days. But then this guy, he didn't have concrete future plans. You know, his plan was, I want to marry you. He doesn't have a house. He doesn't have any other job apart from being a houseboy. So when now we decided we are getting married, I remember he didn't even have plans of even how to pay my to go and pay my dowry. He didn't have plans of how to go and meet my people. So when that time came to go and meet my people, it was a whole chaotic time. You know, it is like that day has just dawned that day. You know, it is like something instant. You know, it is like he didn't have it in mind for all this time, and now it's like, oh, so we are going to see your parents now. You go, rush to them, talk to them. You know, I don't even have bus fare. You don't even have bus fare to go see my people. And you've been saying we are going to see my people. You know, I couldn't figure out that is a red flag, because as much as maybe a young man would want to marry a girl, and he doesn't have enough money for dowry or to go and when it's going to see the parents, at least there are those small plans that you don't need to bother people with. You know, like your bus fare, how you are going to travel from the city where you are to the village. You know, how you are going to, you know, those small things that we ended up even asking people to chip in. You know, chip in even in the smallest of the smallest things. I didn't see that, but the me in love, I went to my people, I talked to them, I convinced them, please, this guy is coming, please accept him the way he is, and all that, and all that. And even the money that he gave me that time, the money, because here in our culture, the man who is marrying is the one who provides for the food that is cooked that time when his family is coming to meet my family. He got it from somebody, you know. And so we were just basically moving. We were just no plans. We are just moving. When you get into something, we are like, who can we ask to help? Who can, you know, there are no concrete future plans. To a point whereby now when so our parents consented to us getting married without dowry, without nothing, because I just intervened and explained to them he doesn't have anything, but if one day God blesses us, we shall come back. And thanks to my mother, because she accepted to that, and my family, they accepted to that, and we got the blessings to move on to get married. Even after getting the blessings to get married, remember, we are church people. We have to do a church wedding. He didn't have any plans of how we are going to move into that other stage. So it was a scenario of, again, now going back to our pastor, back to people, pleading with people to help us. You know, our life was just full of pleading people to help us, because there's no plan. No, you know, you're with somebody who is not planning ahead. You're with somebody who is not, I don't know how to explain that, but because personally, I'm that person who, like, sitting down before I make the next move. I've already planned and calculated how it's going to be. But now I'm with somebody I'm depending on, but we just find ourselves into situations and places where we need to move, but we don't have plans on how we are moving. And so I remember our church was, our wedding actually was conducted by our church. The church did a fundraising. They fundraised for us to do the wedding. They bought literally everything, you know, like everything, even his suit, even the wedding cake. Everything was catered for by the church, because apparently the church was a very close-knit family, and we loved each other. So our bishop mobilized everybody in the church to do fundraising for us, and that's how we did our wedding. So that was a red flag that I ignored, that this person is not futuristic. He's not futuristic. He's not goal oriented, you know. He's not developmental, you know. He just bumps into situation, and that spilled over to the time when I actually got pregnant. And by this time when I got pregnant, I had already gotten myself a job. So immediately we got married. After getting the church fundraise our wedding, and the wedding was done successfully, again we are like, where are we going to live? So the wedding is done. It's in the evening. That evening, we are asking each other, where are we going? During the day was the wedding, but in the evening we are like, so the wedding is over. Where are we going? The people who are driving us and our best couple ask us, so from here, where are you going for your honeymoon? What are the plans? We didn't have anywhere we are going. He didn't have money for, you know, it was, we don't even know where to go because he doesn't have a house. He had only a servant quarter in the house where he was working as a houseboy. So the wedding has ended in the evening. We are stranded. We don't know. We don't have honeymoon plans. We don't have money. We don't have a home to go to, a house to go to. And so at that point, actually, is when now our best couple said, you people, you know what? You're not going to wait until you get to where you're going to open your gifts. We are going to open the envelopes right now, right away. And whatever people gifted you in those envelopes, that's the money you are going to use to go sleep somewhere tonight as you think over where you are going to go tomorrow. Imagine, you know, getting involved with somebody that is not into the future plans, you know. So we opened the envelopes, we removed the money, and as we opened the envelopes, the guy who took our video, the video we were supposed to pay the balance that remained, he's there waiting to be paid. So the money that we removed from the envelopes is what we paid this guy, and what remained, we went to a certain place for the night, and we spent our night there. And I remember my first night after the wedding was very troublesome, because now I'm sleeping, I'm troubled. I know we can't manage to sleep in this place 2 days. I know I don't know where we are going. But during the day now, he called his boss, and he requested if he can be allowed to stay with his newlywed wife, with his new wife, in this servant quarter as we try to see the way forward. I thank God the boss accepted into it, and had his plea, and he allowed us to go and stay in the servant quarter. And we didn't have a choice, because he doesn't have another job, he doesn't have another house. So we went and stayed in that servant quarter until the day the boss was fed up with having a couple in his compound. And so he gave us a deadline, and he said, on this date, I am expecting you out of here. You know, like out of here. You guys go find a life somewhere else, find a house somewhere else, and stay there. And that's how we moved from the servant quarter. Again, now we started now thinking, where do we go to? And that's how we ended into living in Dandora Estate, because in Dandora Estate houses were cheaper. So we lived there, and as time went by, I got pregnant. By this time, Me, I got some job I'm going to. Him, he wakes up in the morning. He's a driver. He knows how to drive. So he wakes up in the morning. He goes at the bus station, waits for those drivers that want a reliever so that he can be given that that squad, you know, to go for that squad, maybe for the main driver to take breakfast or for the main driver to take lunch or something like that. So sometimes he would get those squads, sometimes he's not getting them. So life was not stable for us. And so I got pregnant. So me, behind my mind, I've now started waking up and I'm like, let me start saving. So in my little job that I was doing by that time, I started saving little by little. And trust you me, 9 months of pregnancy, this guy has prepared nothing. You know, nothing, literally nothing. So 9 months are over. I'm in labor pains. We are supposed to rush to the hospital. He doesn't even have money for taxi. He has no coin to pay for the hospital. Ooh, when I come back from hospital, there is nothing to like nurse me as a new mom. Oh my God, it was crazy. And when my labor pains got intense, I remember I gave him my ATM card. I gave him my PIN number. I told him there's some money here, we can use it. So that's now when he called the taxi driver and he promised the taxi driver, please come take my wife to hospital. We shall pass by town, find an ATM machine. I get money so that I can pay you. So that's what saved us. So he called, the tax man was called and he came and I got into the taxi in so much labor pains. And then we had to use a longer route to the hospital so that now he can go withdraw money from my ATM, my bank through the ATM machine and get money to get us to the hospital. On the day of getting discharged from the hospital, get money from my bank, come pay the hospital, bring us home, you know, use the same money in my bank to nurse me and take care of the house and all that. Red flag number 1, getting hooked up with somebody that is not futuristic, that somebody is not either a planner, is not goal oriented. And it was quite a crazy thing that really affected us. Even in the years that we stayed in that marriage, it was a big issue. Me, I want to plan, him is instant. Let us solve it as it comes. Let us solve it as let us handle it as it comes, you know, instant. You know, so it created a rift in a way. And the other red flag that I ignored was that this guy was a constant borrower. He would borrow from right, left, center. He would borrow anybody and everybody. Like every day we survived on borrowed money, every day. And later is when it hit me that even when I was working as a house girl and he is working as a houseboy, he had a higher salary than me. But over time and again, he kept borrowing me. He would borrow me, pay end month. Borrow me, pay end month. We are in the same profession, doing the same job. He's earning more than I am earning. You know, but me, I can afford to lend him money. Him is borrowing. And when we got into, I didn't see that as a red flag. You see, even when he's going to see my people, he borrowed. Everything is borrowing. All the time is borrowing. You know, I didn't see that as a red flag. In our marriage, it affected us big time. We could not make any progress. We could not make any move because now later when we got married, we got a baby and he got a job, it would be a cycle of working for 30 days, getting paid, you know, getting the monthly salary, using the monthly salary to pay all the money borrowed along that month. So 2-3 days after getting the salary, we go broke again and we start looking for people to borrow again. And that was the cycle. So when he used to borrow me money before we got married, when we were dating, we are doing the same kind of job. He's earning more than me, but he's borrowing me money consistently. That is the time I should have picked that as a red flag. This guy is borrowing. But again, I was too much in love. And as I told you, there's always something about the first boyfriend. You get to love that man too much. So I couldn't see these things. And these are the things that piled up and blew us up and, made everything go out of proportion alongside many other things. Red flag number 3. This guy verbally abused me before we got married. He was verbally toxic. You know those people who are verbally toxic? Those people that can tell you or call you anything and it's like nothing happened. They can verbally abuse you and it's like nothing happened. And so I remember occasions after occasions when he would abuse me. We are not married, we are dating, and I would just coil, cry, and let it go. Coil, cry, and let it go. I did not know that was a drop in an ocean of what I was to experience when I get married. 2 occasions I remember of days when he badly verbally abused me. I remember one day, when you're preparing to get married, there are those premarital classes you have to attend and all that. So there's one day we were to meet in town and then proceed to the church for the premarital class. And he got where we were supposed to get before me. And when I came, even before saying hi to me, he was already abusing me. I don't want to use the words he used because they are heavy. They are heavy, making me feel like I'm this useless person. What time are you coming? Were you thinking? I'm trying to make it lighter. It was heavier than that. So, and it is in town, in front of everybody on the streets. And he's not like using low volume. His volume is out there. So the people around you can tell that you're being abused. Somebody's arguing you. Somebody's, shouting at you. And I remember we got into a matatu, a bus, and we went now to our church. From the time I sat down in that bus to the time we alighted to go inside the church, I was crying. I went wiping my tears in a way that people would not know that I'm crying. So I would just bend and, wipe my tears, bending. My eyes were so red by the time we were getting to the bishop's office. And when you stepped into bishop's office, Bishop looked at me like this. And he asked me, "Gladys, are you okay?" And I nodded, "Yes, I'm okay." Because I could not even talk. He repeated that question thrice. "Gladys, are you really okay? Are you fine?" And I kept nodding that I'm fine. He asked me, "Is there something that I should know? Should we continue with this wedding? Are you okay? Is this man treating you well?" I kept saying, "Yes, I'm okay. Yes, I'm okay." But our bishop had a lot of discomfort with that because he could tell that I have really cried. He was very uncomfortable with that. He was really, really very uncomfortable with that. So that is the time I would have picked that this man is verbally toxic. But again, I was in love. Another incident is on the eve of our wedding. Imagine, on the eve of our wedding, that Friday, so that tomorrow Saturday I'm his wife. Tomorrow Saturday morning I'm his bride. We came out of the salon with my braid, they are called bridesmaids and all that. And I don't know what went wrong. and it was at night, so that now the guys can go sleep where they're supposed to sleep, the ladies, we can go sleep where we are supposed to sleep. And something went wrong, and he quarreled me in front of my bridal team. You know, like my bridal team is there, and everybody was like, is tomorrow the wedding day? Until my best lady would actually put her hand on his mouth, and he would call him by his name and tell him, please, this lady is your bride tomorrow morning. And I was like, I don't care. You know, and whoo, you can imagine the embarrassment. But the wedding still happened. And after now getting married, that was the order of the day. Verbal abuses. That was the order of the day. And it drained me day by day. It drained me. It saw me go into depression, get stressed up all the time. That was the order of the day. But did he start verbally abusing me after we got married? No. It was before we got married, when we were dating. Actually, think of a man who abuses his bride on the eve of the wedding. Who does that? But he did it. Still, I could not pick it as a red flag. And it costed me when I got married. Red flag number 4. My auntie's feeling about this guy. You know, when we started dating, you know, there's that time now when you are new in dating, and you get into dating as time goes by, and then now you decide and agree, I'm going to introduce you to my auntie. And I remember that day I took him to my auntie. We visited my auntie, but I remember my auntie calling me outside the house, and my aunt asked me, she's called Aunt Monica. You know, she asked me, by my family name, they call me Shiko. You know, she asked me, Shiko, are you very sure about this man? I've not interacted with him so much, but the few minutes we have interacted is a no. This guy is not the right guy for you. This guy, there's something not right with him. You know, and we went back into the house, and evening came, we left. Trust you me, when we left, I was feeling in my mind, what did auntie tell me? Doesn't auntie want me to get married? And so I was there with my boyfriend in love and all that, and I was telling my boyfriend, imagine, this is what my auntie was saying, this is what my auntie told me about you, you know, let's pray about it. You know, I ignored my auntie's alert, and that was a red flag that was so open to see with bare eyes. And so I think and I believe, maybe when you're so much in love, it's good to listen to people who are close to you. Listen to family members, as much as they are not always right. Sometimes listen to them, listen to friends, listen to colleagues. You might not just listen, let them not decide for you, but listen. Because me, I did not listen. And so when things got toxic, and actually that time one was committing suicide, my auntie reminded me, remember I told you about this man. Actually, she reminded me, and it is true. I ignored her alert. So sometimes the people who really care about you, listen to their to what they're saying. Sometimes it could save you. Pray about it, and just be wise. God will give you wisdom on what to take, what not to take. But for me, I failed on that. And the last red flag as we wind up this video is that this man was a 24/7 complainer. He would complain about one thing after the other and everything. And I did not know that time. I did not know this complaining was hiding too much. He was hiding behind complaining. He was hiding his low self-esteem behind complaining. He was hiding his inferiority behind complaining. He was hiding his narcissistic personality behind that complaining. Only when I got married is when now the real person came out. That this man is a totally insecure man. He has very low self-esteem. He's suffering inferiority of the highest order. So like me, I'm that person who is a go-getter. When he see me in my going out and doing things and, you know, getting it and all that, he would feel so bad and he would pull me down. Because he had that insecurity, he was suffering very high level of inferiority complex, and then combined with the narcissistic personality. Ooh. Let's stop it there. We shall continue from there now into my marriage and how I committed suicide and almost died in that marriage. Let us stop it there. Those are the red flags I ignored, and they costed me my marriage, alongside others we shall be mentioning as time goes, as we do the other videos. So if you're still dating, open your eyes. Let not love be blind. Open your eyes. Pick those red flags. Be bold enough to tackle them head on. Because if you ignore them, if you brush them off, they will cost you at some point. Prioritize your peace. Prioritize your self-care. Prioritize yourself. Today I'm happier and happier and happier. See you in the next video. And please, if you've not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so that every time I upload a new video, you are the first person to be notified that there's a new video for you to watch. So subscribe, like, share, and comment. I love reading your comments. I just dedicate time to read your comments. So just comment there, and let's be that one big happy family of touching lives through love. Love you guys. Love you, and see you in the next video. Bye. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Subscribe and watch out for those red flags and run for your life.